Hello, we're Group 20 and this is Assess a Pal. The purpose of our application is to improve accessibility on Cornell's campus and in the Ithaca community at large.
We do this by pairing individuals with either short-term injuries or disabilities up with students to carry their backpacks from place to place. Another goal is to inform the general public of any obstacles they may face on their daily commute.
So in this video, I'll be discussing the three major improvements that we've made to our high fidelity prototype since our first demo video 3 weeks ago. The following clip is from my group's first high fidelity prototype demo on November 7th. I will next be showing you some of the resources offered to users through the application. These resources include questions, services, Connect, transportation, organizations, and stores. So in just about every single interview that we conducted, the user wasn't totally aware of what the resources page was for, and they pretty much always ended up asking the interviewer what it was for by the end of the interview. And so we originally created it to serve as a backup in the event that there was a serious problem or somebody wasn't able to receive assistance.
Okay, so the icon labeled Connect contains everyone's phone number from Cornell Police Department to CU Lift, Student with Disability Services, Cornell Health. But we soon realized that the resources page wasn't as intuitive for our users as we hoped it would be. While we had the resources tab in the hope of fulfilling Nielsen's help and documentation heuristic, we actually found out that the resources tab ended up doing the exact opposite for our users by creating confusion. So we ended up removing that resources tab from the navigation bar. So while we got rid of the resources tab on the navigation bar, we're still able to provide users with a sense of security in case something goes wrong by having a button now that says, I'm still waiting for my buddy when they're, after they request a buddy. So in the event that that happens and they have to click that button, they'll be redirected to transportation services, alternative transportation services like Lyft and Uber. So we're still able to offer the user help and provide them with a sense of security through any obstacles that they may face.
So I'm now going to be showing you the process that a user would go through in order to request a buddy. So they would hit the request a buddy icon on the bottom bar, navigation bar, and then they would input their designated destination, and their buddy would pop up. And it's actually really difficult to tell, but as the buddy is getting closer, we would have their face, the little icon with their head, actually it would like pulse back and forth. It's sort of difficult to tell, and that was something that our users certainly noticed during the evaluations, because people really couldn't tell where their buddy was or like when the buddy was actually near them other than their estimated time of arrival, but that's not always accurate. Okay, so now similar to before, a user would hit the request a buddy icon on the bottom of the screen, and then they would input their destination, but now they have an option to choose whether they want their backpack to be carried or if they want to receive a ride and hit the transport option. So the transport option is a new addition that we made to our design, and so now it allows people to go further distances using Assess a Pal. So now we can actually see one of the major changes that we made to our application. We could see where we are in relation to our buddy. So this will be provided either if you hit the carry option or the transport option. You'll be able to see either where your buddy's car is or where your buddy is like walking.
So by providing the user with a constant feedback to let them know where they are currently in relation to their buddy, we no longer violated Nielsen's visibility of system status heuristic, since we're now keeping people aware and letting them know what's going on around them. Because this map was previously so poorly labeled, there was really a lack of user control experienced by those using the app. So they weren't really comfortable with their surroundings, and they weren't really comfortable with their role with the technology, just because there really wasn't they really didn't know where they were going, and they weren't really getting a lot of feedback from the technology. And to mitigate this lack of user control, we've actually installed a Street View option. And so this was brought up during one of our user evaluations, where the interviewee mentioned that it would be helpful if the application also had the Street View option so that they could read the name of buildings. The icons were based on severity, so their color was based on severity. For example, yellow being moderate, green being not super severe, low risk, and red being approach with caution. And so a student mentioned during one of the in-class critiques that places like streets, for example, roads that have high amounts of traffic, they would have more reports. So as a result, they would have a higher level of severity, even if the incident wasn't nearly as severe. It's just because they were being reported more often. And then another point brought up during a user evaluation was that green is generally associated with good. So to improve upon the high fidelity map, we decided to make every icon the same color, that being red, which is often associated with approaching something with caution. So ultimately, we're not only preventing user confusion, but we're also keeping obstacles that are in areas of high traffic from being marked as more severe than they actually are. Thanks for taking the time to learn about AssessAPal.